Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels, and we're happy to have you today.
Yeah, I am. So let's talk about real quick. The weather is really annoying me right now.
It really wants to be nice outside.
So yeah, it's like, it feels like it could be, but it's not. Like, so this past weekend I had like my flip-flops back out and my, sleeveless shirt. And now I'm back in sweaters and I'm not happy. So I just want to put it out there that I need the weather to change back to 70s. I wish it would just stay 70s all the time, like 70s, low 80s. Yeah. I'm just saying, slight breeze.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out. But hopefully you guys are enjoying. It's a Wednesday, middle of your work week. Hope everyone is having a great week. And we have some great guests in the studio with us today. And we are going to get with them in just a minute. I am going to kick off, though, talking about our Lead On Summit tomorrow. It's gotten here quickly.
Yeah, I can't believe
I feel like I just had our annual dinner, and that was a month ago.
Yeah.
So time flies. But our Lead On Summit is happening tomorrow, folks. And we have about 65, 70 business owners that are going to be attending this business summit here in Thaxton, Virginia at the Peaks Retreat and Conference Center.
I'll be one of them.
And really great speakers. We have 7 speakers coming to talk about various topics from, entrepreneurial operating systems to how to turn a no into a yes, how to balance your work life, like that. Like that's a reality.
Right.
And, just a lot of different really great speakers coming from various like businesses. You know what I'm saying? So some of them aren't even business coaches. Like we have Brandon Brown is coming to talk about, his journey as a small business owner and like how he got started and how he's grown and
how he's turned into a nationally known speaker.
Yeah, exactly. In what is it? What Dubai? Isn't that where he like number one his pie? Like, how does that work? Like,
there was a specific location because it was like the Emirates or something. It was actually really pretty place. Let me look at that. I'm gonna find the exact location for you. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Dubai.
He was in the top chart for like, for months. It's the crazy. It's so funny. Like you just Cop Talk is like they're ranked in Korea. Like
okay.
Yeah. So and I got another one is in Barbados. It's actually number 1 in Barbados right now.
Wow.
Don't know why.
Wow.
There you go.
That's really cool.
Look at that. Media Squatch.
But we all know that Talk Local to Me is number 1 in your heart, Woody.
It always
We know.
We know. Yeah, always.
So, so big shout out to Minnie's Travel Boutique. She is, they are the sponsor of our Lead On Summit. And then also want to give a quick shout out to Kinzinger Financial and Simon Kinzinger. He is one of our luncheon sponsors along with Donna Four with Mutual of Omaha. And then the Answer Network, which is our breakfast sponsor out of Roanoke. So the Answer Network can change your life if you're looking for someone to help answer phones. Like if you're one of those people that just gets bogged down in phone calls all the time, they can help you out with that.
We use them for after hours and things like that. And it's fantastic.
So, if you didn't get a ticket for this year, that's okay. Check us out. Make sure you're looking into next year. We host it every March, but it's a great opportunity for business leaders and even for you to send like maybe office managers or marketing reps or anyone that helps out your business there with our Lead On Summit. And then after that, we're going to be rolling into our putt-putt tournament, which happens at the end of April.
Yeah.
So tickets are on sale if you want to come out and play some putt-putt for a good cause.
And if you want to be a whole sponsor of that event, you can reach out to Megan or Heather and do that.
That's correct. Whole sponsors are $100 and they stay up for 2 weeks at the putt-putt in Lynchburg. But your teams it's teams of 2, teams of 4. Your teams can be yourself and your colleagues. It can be you and your kids. We raise that money to go back into a scholarship for a student going into the trades. So it's a great opportunity to help support education and come out and have a good time. And then our women's event, our Empower Women's event, huge event every year in May. Tickets are already on sale for that. We have moved to the Liberty Mountain Conference Center. So we can have anywhere from like 200 to 300 women. We had about 200 last year. And we already have our keynote speaker coming in. Dreama Denver. She's the wife of Gilligan Island Bob Denver. So she's coming to speak on leadership and growing or living with Gilligan. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm really excited to hear from her. So lots of great things coming up. Also, if you're out and about and you're a business owner, want to just hit our coffee talk, which we have every month. This month, it's at Old City Cemetery, which is gorgeous. You need to come out to Old City Cemetery. We're there on March the 29th and meet and greet with other business owners.
Yeah, it's not going to be a dead end event.
All right, I'm not starting this again with you guys. It's
She's dead serious.
I am dead serious. I'm just, just done. So
I don't stand a ghost of a chance.
Oh my gosh. What do y'all sit here and come up with these puns like
Oh no, this is just natural.
I'll just roll. I'm not even good at it. I'm not good at that. So anyway, moving into really cool places to visit. We were here with Molly with Vector Space.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm excited to be in a studio. There's lots of great things happening in here that audience members can't see, but
it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I am really excited to learn more about Vector Space. I have, heard so much about it. I have not been there yet, and I plan to get there. That's my plan for this year is to go into Vector Space and look at all the cool opportunities that you have there.
We want you to do that. And we actually do tours every first Friday of the month. So if you want to come out to a first Friday event, that's something that we do regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always volunteers who are giving tours.
Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. I have not been in your new space.
There you go.
So there's a difference. I've been to Vector Space prior, but not since y'all moved.
Okay.
Spaces. So I need to take back what I said. So I wanted to start off by just letting our listeners hear more about what is Vector Space?
Yeah, that is a great big question that I have gotten better at condensing down. So Vector Space is a maker space. And if you haven't heard of maker spaces yet, they're a wonderful thing that started kind of out on the West Coast, and they've been migrating east for the last 10 or 15 years. But we are a maker space. That means that we're a community workshop where everybody gets to share the tools, kind of like a gym. We also provide programming. We do workshops for adults. We do programs for teens, and we do a couple big events every year that are always free and open to the public. The one that's coming up really soon is our Maker Fair. That's actually on Sunday at Randolph College. But we also do a robot event every fall, which is open to anybody who's interested in seeing robots disassemble each other, sort of like battle bots. So that's a great event too. And then we do our first Fridays. So we're very much about trying to give people exposure to the wonderful skills that being a maker can give you.
So talking about the Maker Fair, you said it's this Sunday.
Yes.
And it's at Randolph Macon?
It is at Randolph College.
I always want to say Randolph Macon. I know it's not Randolph Macon anymore. What is it? Old habits die hard.
Right.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're speaking to an audience who remembers it as that. So, so it's going to be on the beautiful historic campus of Randolph College, and it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm knocking on wood right now. And we're going to have 50 to 60 different maker booths there. They're all going to be interactive. Every maker who's bringing jewelry, they'll also be bringing wire braiding. So they'll actually be interacting with you and teaching you how to do this wire braiding, or there'll be somebody building an LED and they'll be teaching you how to build an LED.
Oh, that's cool.
And so with the diversity of booths, there really is something for everyone.
And this is y'all's 7th year putting this on, correct?
This is our 8th
year. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And this ties into, does Randolph College does a science festival, right? So it kind of ties into that.
Yes.
I think it's really neat that you're going to have all these. Okay. So I'm that person. I'm horrible at any type of crafting. I'm just not good. I'm not. I can't draw, do stick figures. And then when I try to make things, I get frustrated and I'm just not good. So I think it would be so much fun to go and try and do some of these and kids, that's kind of you can bring your children and let them look at all the great crafts and how to start
Exactly.
different things.
We love your kind because we
My
think that
kind.
we can, show you the way and convert
Yeah.
you and let you know that you're a maker at heart somewhere in there. You
Right.
just haven't found your craft
I
yet.
tried
And then-
scrapbooking once.
So I am
I was all
I
right.
am crafty.
Oh,
So because I have lasers and CNC machines and 3D printers, all that stuff in my house. So it's interesting for me to come and see too, because like there's always people are so creative in the ways that they use these same tools for different things. So and I took a tour of Vector Space a couple months ago. It was very cold. That's the main thing I remember. It was cold outside. It wasn't that cold inside. It was still kind of chilly though. But
Okay,
um,
good. I'm glad we didn't freeze you out.
no, you
I
didn't
was
freeze
a
me
little
out. You didn't
worried
freeze
for
me
a
out. No,
second.
but it was cool because you have like stained glass
Yes.
where you can make stained glass areas, and you've also got like these giant lasers and giant CNC machines and welding classes and workshops and all sorts of things to do. Like it was, I thought I knew what it was before I went, but it was so much more than that. And being able to see all the different things that you offer, it was amazing. So it
Yeah.
was really cool.
Thank you for bringing that up. I'm really happy that Vector Space has embraced me. I'm their outreach coordinator, and I've been with them for over a year now. But I've started to forget how unusual it is that
Right.
we have all of these things. It's become normal life to me. I'm just like, oh yeah, there's a laser. Oh yeah, there's a CNC lathe over there. That's just no problem.
And not just like a CNC, but this thing was huge. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like bigger than this table. So
Mhm, mhm.
it was really cool to see just in that kind of space that these giant machines that normally people just wouldn't have access to. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. Our members have a great deal. They get to come in 24/7. They get a key fob and they can come in the door and use all these tools. It's great for entrepreneurs who are wanting to expand the skills that make their business great. And then we also have some other outreach programs, such as our Women in Machining program, that teaches women to use the machines in the machining area and then go on to get jobs at places like BWXT or Framatome. Yeah, so that's just another thing to mention that we do there, and another way that we affect community through our makerspace.
And the light display that was downtown at the Bluff Walk, I believe some of the signs, the light up signs were made at Vector Space.
That's right. We have a wonderful artist in our midst who's also a sculpture instructor at the University of Lynchburg. Her name is Chelsea Tinklenberg, and she took on this big project of making the Bright Nights sign. So if anybody got to go down to the big Bright
Yeah, it
Nights.
was amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was her work, and she did it all on the plasma CNC machine down in the metal shop at Vector Space.
That's cool.
So what time is the Maker Fair on Saturday?
Yeah, good idea. We should tell people when this thing is happening. It is at 11 a.m. and it goes until 4 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. And was it Saturday or Sunday?
I'm sorry.
It is on Sunday.
Okay,
Sunday.
I was confused. I was like,
I said that's because I
don't
said
want Sunday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
said
did you?
Sunday.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, so Sunday 11 to 4. And is there any admission cost or anything?
There
or-
is no admission cost, but we do have registration on our website. It's just to let us know that you came because it helps us get more funding for next time. We want to make it
Yeah.
more awesome. And there's prizes. If you sign up, you could win a prize.
Oh, that's cool. I might have to go check that out. And what is your
Mhm.
website?
It is lynchburgmakerfair.com, except for I don't know if that's right, and I actually need to check.
Well, while you're checking, I will just say I'm going to try and send. So my daughter did get the craft gene, like my littlest, my 12-year-old. She's going downtown Sunday to Rise Up Climbing to do some rock climbing. So I'm gonna tell her we should swing by and let her check out
Yay.
the Maker Fair too, because I think she would be really excited to see all the different opportunities that there are available, in our area.
Yeah,
For
definitely.
Even
bring it
young
down.
crafters, because I love like young entrepreneurs will come
Mhm.
out. Some of the booths and things that we do at like Centerfest and some of like our festivals, you do see a lot of younger kids either learning the craft from their parents or helping their parents with it. And I think it's really cool to start them off young, learning about entrepreneurship and how to start their own business and how to get involved in their community.
Mm-hmm. Young exposure is definitely
Yeah.
a good thing. And she might like our crochet booth. Somebody's going to be there teaching crocheting and selling their delightful little crocheted mushrooms.
Okay.
So we are lynchburg.makerfair.com.
Okay. Perfect.
And Maker Faire is MakerFaire.com.
Yes.
Good catch.
So I know, we wanted to make sure we talked about the Maker Faire, but I do want to chat just a teeny bit about the robot thing.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of, did you ever see the Disney movie Big Hero 6 where they have the bots?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that one.
Oh my gosh. Like
Sorry.
that they do the bot fighting at the very beginning where they have robots and they bot fight. So that's what kind of, I think about. But I remember last year there was a really big buzz about it and people loved, that event.
Mm-hmm.
So just for people who may be thinking, oh, I should do this in later in the year, how does that kind of work?
Yeah. The great thing about talking about the robot event now is that just the way that our events are free and open to the public, they're also free and open to the public to participate. So, get out there and start building your bot and bring it to battle. But yeah, it's a great thing to do with your kids if you're looking to teach them a skill and having a positive project to work on, to interact with, and they get to be competitive in a way that is encouraging self-growth. So this is a great event to get involved in that way. The actual event itself usually takes place in the wrestling gym on the campus of VES, which is really fun because we build our own arena, which is impressively, like, it has to have very strong plexiglass walls that hold all the robot parts from flying everywhere all over the audience. It's pretty eventful. These robots are serious. They don't leave without scars.
Right.
So that, it's eventful. It's good.
That seems like a really fun event to go to.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
I just, again, I think, well, I can't build a robot. Maybe I could, but I could see my daughter being able to build a robot. She's pretty crafty.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just don't have that gene.
Right.
It's whatever. So now Vector Space, you guys have memberships.
Yes.
And you kind of mentioned that a little bit ago. And how does that work? And I know, like, I was looking on your website earlier, and like they're currently closed right now and are hoping to open back up soon. But how does it work for someone to get one of those if they're looking for a space to come in and work?
Yeah. Vector Space offers open enrollment 3 times a year. So there are 3 dates of the year that you'll be able to receive an email and it'll say, hey, sign up for Vector Space. Now's your chance. And you can sign up to get that email anytime on our website. Our next open enrollment is happening May 4th. So may the 4th be with you, as people say.
Nice.
So after you sign up for that, you will be accepted. It's a $60 per month fee. We ask that each person who signs up stays for at least 3 months so they can really get a feel for the space. And then you'll do an orientation where you get to know the people around there and you get to have a tour and a scavenger hunt of the place. And then you'll be opened up and offered all the safety trainings that you need to handle tools in the metal shop, wood shop, and other areas.
Now, is that something where, just for example, like our organization, we do things that I always say, oh, I need to have like pens engraved, or I need to go and get like different things like that. Is that something where, we could have a membership and we purchase our items and come in and kind of make our own things to give out as promo items or throughout, the year?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Great question. We have a great relationship with Water Resources. They come and make their signs there, and make their stuff look pretty at Vector Space.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not just, it's businesses can utilize it, or just crafters, or
Absolutely.
I think that's something to think about.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
I think it's pretty cool. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I ordered these pens from a company and here they are and they look really nice. I think it's really cool to be like, hey, we made these. Like, we went in and we actually did it, and it looks,
Right.
first couple probably didn't look great because Heather did them, but then they came out looking pretty cool, and like you're able to kind of give those out, and I think there's something to be said about putting your own blood, sweat, and tears into something.
Yeah.
And,
See, I think you might be a maker. You know that the first 5 come out terribly.
oh yeah, and
That's just a
20,
rule.
25.
That's always the rule.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even
I have lots of cups that have very weird things laser engraved on them because it didn't come out like I wanted.
yeah,
So yeah,
very
I
cool.
got a stack.
So tell us again where Vector Space is located. I know we've talked about where the Maker Fair is, but where is Vector Space located?
So we are very central in Lynchburg. We're right across from EC Glass on the corner of Memorial and Langhorne. Yeah, and we're in the old floral building,
Okay.
wholesale floral building, if you're familiar with
I
that.
used to go by there every day.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Lots of people say that.
Right.
So yeah, and it was really cool to see how they've utilized some of the space because like the flower coolers and things like that, like they have the doors open and like I think there was a canoe being built in one of them.
Yes.
It was a very surreal moment for me. Like, wait, that's supposed to have flowers in it. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see how they've used because it's a very large space, but I don't think there is a single corner or square foot in there that is not utilized for something. So they have definitely filled the space out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come check out the new.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Perfect.
Come and see us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on and telling everyone about it. So, if you are looking for something to do this Sunday, definitely head out to Randolph College and check out the Maker Fair and just kind of see if you have any talent, see if you got any artistic ability, learn something new. Yeah.
For sure.
Love it. See you guys there.
Yeah. So I always ask 2 questions of every podcast
Okay.
ghost.
Oh,
I'm on the
yes.
cemetery still, Woody. Sorry. Of every guest.
My soul is ready to answer.
Well, good. And so the first one is how long has Vector Space been a part of the CVABC?
We have been lucky enough to be part of it for 2 years.
Awesome. And what do you think is the greatest benefit of being a member?
We love being a member because we have a lot of community outreach to do, and you all have subsidized some of the advertisement for that, such as this podcast. And it is wonderful to have that benefit. We really appreciate being able to get our good things out to the community.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think, that's one of the things I love, being able to help our small businesses and our nonprofits in that way, because, with even like with the way the economy is going right now and things too, you've got to prioritize where to put your marketing dollars for what, some people have very minimal marketing dollars, some have more, but being able to do things like this, we're able to kind of help a little bit more, keep your money where it could go to something that you need more than, having to pay for a billboard or a podcast.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
You guys do great things.
Well,
Thank you
We're glad
so
to hear that.
much.
So
We are
gonna go to a short commercial.
going to a short commercial and then we will be right back.
Sounds great. Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
America's Choice in Home Care.
America's Choice in Home Care.
Gets me every
it cracks,
time.
Heather sings along every
I
time.
do. I sing along every time. I sing whether I'm here. I sing when it comes on at home. It's the catchiest jingle. I'm not kidding.
It is. It's been great.
I
It's been
can't.
around for over 25 years and
I just
still kicking. So
sing away.
it's still on your Billboard Top 100.
Even when I try not to sing, like I'll be like, I'm not doing it. At the end of it catches me every time. I'm just like,
Right.
I'll start humming. So I guess that still counts as potentially singing.
It does. It does.
So, yeah. Well, welcome back, everybody. And we had the pleasure last week of having Stacy with Centra Bedford Memorial Hospital here.
And no pressure, Ben, but she was a great guest.
She was a great
I know,
guest.
Stacey. We're good.
Yeah, no pressure.
Okay. So now we have the pleasure of having Ben here to talk about Centra Pace. And there's probably people out there going, what? Who? Centra Pace? What?
What is PACE?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, kind of give us an overview of Centra Pace, and then we'll kind of dive deeper into the services and things like that.
Yeah, certainly. So a lot of people are not alone in their whole, what is PACE? I don't know what that is. And that's okay. That's why I'm here. That's literally what I do, is to help educate people about what PACE is and the services that we offer to the community. So just kind of gives people some background as to what we do. PACE started as a service line actually out in California back in the 70s. And what essentially happened was there was a need that arose that needed to be addressed. So out in California, it actually started in the Asian American communities. And as part of their culture, when one of their family members, begins getting older and everything, you bring them into your home and you take care of your own family.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-generational homes is a very common thing. And that's just part of what they do. So as things in America started changing, back then was kind of when husbands and wives both started going out into the workforce. You didn't have that, one parent just stayed home and kind of thing. So when that happened, you had kids that were in school, both parents were now at work, and these grandparents or parents that were in the home were now home alone, and that had never really happened before. And as people age, things like dementia or health concerns come along, and it became a big problem. And they were like, "Oh goodness, what are we supposed to do? I can't take care of my mom anymore because I have to go to work, and she can't really stay home alone." So most people would say, "Well, put them in a nursing home."
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "No, we don't do that. We take care of our own family." So that's where this thought of there needs to be another solution out there. What can we design and make? And that's where PACE came along and started. So PACE is all across the country now. It has made its way all the way out to the East Coast here in Virginia. It's not in all 50 states yet, though. So it's kind of unique that we do have several PACE locations here in Virginia. But at the end of the day, our thought pattern is, let's help keep seniors out of nursing homes. Let's keep people at home where they're happiest. There's a lot of studies that show that people are healthier, both mentally and physically, when they stay at home, if that's possible. So we try to wrap around a lot of different service options for people to take care of them while they're at home. Things like having aides come out to the house and help people with, things that we call ADLs, activities of daily living, getting bathed, getting dressed, even light housekeeping, light meal prep, things like that. We also have transportation services that'll take people to doctor's appointments. There's so many seniors that we run into where they're like, "Well, I wanted to go to the doctor and get my checkup, but I didn't have a ride, and none of my friends drive anymore, or my family's out of town." So we offer that to the people in our program. We also, one thing that I think is super cool that makes us really unique is that we have an adult day center. And at the center, people can come. They can do some basic things that you'd normally think about at an adult day center, things like socialize. We have activities going on all day long. We always serve breakfast and lunch, but we also have a full medical clinic there. So we have a full doctor's office, doctors, nurse practitioners, nurses, all that. We also have a full physical therapy center. So with all the machines and equipment, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, the whole gambit. So there's other things we offer too. Like we have a social work team to help with, helping people with paperwork or scheduling appointments with specialists, even things, like government programs that might be available to the people that are in our program, help them get signed up with those. We have a dietitian on staff to make sure people are eating properly. And other things too, the idea of PACE is to offer all-inclusive medical care for people in our program. We want people to know that they have one place they need to go to for anything medical related that they have going on in their lives.
Yeah.
I wish that I had known more about this many years ago. Like
I hear that all the time.
Yeah. So like my grandmother, I'm going to reverse it a little bit further than that. So when my grandfather passed away, I actually thought my grandmother was like one of the strongest people I'd ever known. And I was like, okay, she'll be okay. She declined so fast. It was weird to me.
Right.
Like you would have thought, I thought like, oh, she'll be okay. But no, she, I guess it was just, she was so used to caring for him, and then he wasn't there anymore. And then, being in a home all by herself. And so, and she had diabetes and just different things like that. And we were having to, and it was such a struggle. We wanted to keep her in the home, as long as possible. It was like their family home. And, we loved that house. And so, we were having to, as a family, come up with like this calendar was like who's going over there in the morning to make sure she's out of bed and breakfast is ready and you've changed her sheets and she's had a shower, and then who's going back at lunch to make sure you're fixing her tomato and mayonnaise sandwich because that was
That
like
sounds
her.
amazing.
Oh
I'll
my
take
gosh,
one of
My
those.
wife loves those,
gosh,
but I don't
she
like them.
loves tomato and mayonnaise sandwiches. Like that's her. That was like the best thing ever for her. So like who was going back over there and who was going to just sit with her for a little bit and watch her. She called them her shows, her soaps, all the things, and then someone else would have to drive back over there at dinner and fix her dinner and then stay until they could get her ready for bed. And it became very, time consuming when you have, we have a pretty big family, but who also has families and who also has kids and,
Right.
Have to do work and their own things. And, it just became such a struggle. And we were able to do that, I would say, for maybe 2 years or so before we finally were all like, we just can't do it anymore. And we
Right.
eventually had to put her in a nursing home. And it was heartbreaking, not just to have to like have her leave her home, but then we had to sell, because we had to do like a spend down to make sure we could get her
Right.
into the nursing facility. And then we had to sell like our basically where everyone went every Sunday after church family home. And it was really sad. And then you definitely saw a quicker decline once my grandmother was put into the nursing home, because then not that it it was harder to get over there. You had the excuse of, oh well, someone's now watching her, so people weren't going over there as much, and she was missing that one-on-one time too with families. And so all of that to say, if we had known there was something like PACE in the area that we could have utilized
Right.
back then, it would have been, I think, so much better for her and us as a family.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mike is aware of this too with him working with Visiting Angels. Caregiver fatigue is a very real
It is.
issue.
It
So
is.
many people come to us and they're like, we don't know what to do. Like
Right.
we are exhausted. We've exactly like you were saying. Hey, our family, we're playing this game of Tetris, trying to get our schedules figured out to where our loved ones being taken care of. And they come to us at their wits' end. And they're like, mom's refusing to go to a nursing home. We don't know what to do. We feel like that's what she needs. And we're like, hold on. There's another option out there.
Yeah.
We're
Well-
glad you called us.
And so many families fall victim to what they call the sandwich generation, where you've got
yeah.
kids in the home, but you've also got parents you're trying to care for
Absolutely.
and trying to, it's hard enough just keeping up with kids or your own house. And then when you add on the responsibility of caring for a parent or grandparent as well, that can add a lot of stress to your life and take a lot of your free time and things like that. And so that's one of the reasons. So I'm really glad. I know that I'm sitting here as Visiting Angels and we do in-home care and all of the same ADLs that Ben was talking about, but I'm so glad because socialization is such an important part of it. And some people, like I can be in a room with people and I'm good for, a couple hours and then I'm kind of tired and like, I just need some alone time. Right. Heather is the kind of person that could be in a room with 50 people for 16 hours and they would all start getting burnt out and leaving. And she'd be like, where are you going? We're
I'd be
still
like,
having
let's
fun.
keep partying.
Right. So I love that with PACE, like you have the socialization and it's not just with that caregiver, but it's with a group of people and they have activities that they do and things like that as well.
Yeah, so it's a really cool blend between in-home care and getting people out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause we have some people that, when I talk to them, they're like, oh, mom is such a social butterfly. She wants to get out of the house. She wants to meet people. She's got her little church group that she misses being a part of. So then we're like, hey, we can pick her up on our bus, bring her in. I jokingly tell people it's kind of like school. Pick you up in the morning, bring you in, you spend the
Right.
day with us, and we bring you home in the afternoon.
Get breakfast and lunch.
That's right. And do some activities. If you need to see the doctor, check in with them. But so you can come in, do your activities. We have medical staff there to keep an eye on things. In case something were to happen, then you get to go home and you get to sleep in your own bed at night and that sort of thing. But then we have other people that are like, I'm not social. I really enjoy just sitting at home. And they just don't really desire coming to the center, and that's okay too. With those kind of people, we just enhance the amount of in-home aides that we bring out, making sure that they get the services that they need. And then a lot of people, frankly, really enjoy a mixture of both. Where it's like,
Right.
hey, I want an aide to come out to the house maybe once or twice a week, and I want to come into the center, a
That
couple
was
of
going to be
days.
my next question.
And when you get that blend, it's really nice because you don't have that cookie cutter care plan for every individual. You can really just gauge to what the individual wants.
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want your care to look like?
Right. Well, I think you're talking about caregiver fatigue too, and I'm just going to touch back on that for a quick second because, I know even now, like you get family members that also argue. It gets to the point where you're like, well, I can't do it.
Sadly,
So, and then
yeah.
it becomes a conflict between families.
Right.
And like currently my mother she's multiple sclerosis. She stays at home. She's like, she's never leaving her home. We'll see. She doesn't listen to this. So, but my oldest daughter is her CNA. Like she is her in-home caregiver. And there's a lot of times it's really hard to draw the line between am I your granddaughter or am I your your caregiver?
Right.
Because she'll tell my mom to do something and she'll get upset with her. And then like, Autumn's just like, you have to do this. Or like, I will call the hospital. I will go over your head. Like as your caregiver, there's a boundary that like she has to make sure she's
Right.
not crossing. And it's really difficult because they'll argue about it. And, then my mom is just like, well, she doesn't like me. And I'm like, she does like you. Like she just has to take
She
care
still
of you.
comes here. She's
Quit
here,
being
but
stubborn.
she's got to do the
Just
things
wants-
you don't want.
She wants what's best for you.
Yeah,
But-
and we see a lot of times
Yeah.
with the in-home care part, like a family member will ask one of our clients to do something, and absolutely not, I'm not doing that. Caregiver walks in and says, hey, we need to do this today. Showering is one of them. Like they don't like to get undressed to get in the shower because they get cold, and then when they get out of the shower, they're cold. Like they don't like any of that. And a caregiver can come in and be like, all right, well, I'm going to help you take a bath now. Are you ready to take a shower? And they're like, sure, let's go. And then the daughter's sitting there like, I've been trying for 3 weeks to try to just make this a smooth process. And it's been a constant battle. So it's the same thing with PACE, where it's not a family member. So they're more likely to listen and
Yeah.
take direction from them.
You're absolutely right. And one thing that's cool too is I think we have 15 bathrooms in our PACE center, and
Right.
we have showers and whatnot. They're wheelchair accessible. So people can, if they need, bathing, because that is a big concern for a lot of people when they're caregiving for a senior. We can help people at home with one of our aids, or if somebody wants to come into the center and get that done
See?
too.
I learned something new today.
It's cool. We can.
So that's great. So they don't have to do it when they first get up and they want to go to
If
PACE.
they would prefer to get up a little later and get on
Yeah.
the bus and then kind of get ready for the day at PACE, we have showers and stuff there for them if that's
Okay.
what they want to
Oh,
do.
that's cool.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what qualifies you for PACE? Is it just an out of pocket expense, or does Medicare or Medicaid or anything like that?
Yeah,
cover
so
this?
there are several qualifications that you have to meet, and these are like state regulations set out by the state of Virginia. You have to be over the age of 55.
Okay.
For my mom.
You have to pass what they call a UAI screening or an LTSS screening. It stands for long-term. Oh goodness, now that I say that, I can't remember what it stands. It's essentially a screening that comes out. It's put up by the state. It says that you are in need of assistance with activities of daily living, with those ADLs. That can be done either by somebody in the hospital, or it can be done by a worker from the county. And we help people coordinate setting those up if their desire is to try to join PACE and they don't have one of those screenings on file. But somebody will come out, ask you some questions, see how much assistance you need, and you do need to show that you need assistance. I tell people, hey, we're here. We're a great program. We offer a lot of assistance, but we're for those who need the assistance. I have had people call me and say, well, mom can really do everything she needs, and she lives by herself and she's fully independent, but she's real excited about coming to the center to play bingo. And I'm like, well, we're here for people who need help.
Right.
So you have to have one of those screenings on file. Now, this technically isn't a requirement, but we do strongly recommend that people have Medicaid when they join the PACE program.
Mhm.
Nationwide, 99.5% of people in PACE have Medicaid. And the reason for that is if you do not have Medicaid, or for example, if you have Medicare only, you can private pay for PACE, but it is very expensive. The state regulates what we are to charge for our services. It's not something that Centra decides. And I think right now it's around $6,500 a month.
Okay.
They put it on the same line as nursing homes.
Right.
Because the state looks at what we offer and they say, oh, you're a long-term care service. You're the same as a nursing home. And we're like, well, from a medical standpoint, yeah, we offer a lot of the same services, but nobody lives here.
Right.
But people live at home. That's our goal. So then they put us in that same bucket as nursing homes,
Right.
and they make us charge similar rates and that sort of thing. So that's why that rate's in place. So just to kind of recap, 55 and over, have a screening on file showing that you need that assistance, and then we strongly recommend Medicaid.
So if somebody through Medicaid has in-home nursing care that's provided
Yes,
through Medicaid, more than likely they're already going to have that assessment on file.
that is true. Yes, a lot of
Okay.
people, they have Medicaid and they get a worker to come out, and sometimes it's a family member that they can get signed up to
Yeah.
give them assistance and that sort of thing. That screening is required for that to take place. So a lot of times they'll have a screening on file through the county already, and we can just utilize that screening.
Awesome.
Now, around here, what areas does PACE cover? Like, what's your coverage area for someone that's interested in looking into, services?
Yeah, interestingly enough, we have an office in Lynchburg. It's on the corner of 5th and Federal, not too far from the Johnson's Health Center and the Family Dollar, but sadly
In the traffic circle.
The traffic circle where they just put up
Right.
the new statue.
Yeah.
So we're right there in that corner. We also have a PACE center in Farmville and Gretna. And this past fall, we actually opened an alternative care site here in Bedford.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually recently found out we got approval to open an alternative care site in Amherst.
Oh,
so
very
we will
nice.
be doing that hopefully before the end of
So
the
that's
year.
a very wide area.
Right.
It is a very large area. I think somebody told me once it's roughly the same service area as the state of New Jersey,
Okay.
like our square mile
Wow.
area. It's a big area. We handle past Farmville out almost to Richmond. Down south, we go all the way to the state line, go to Danville, and then out here we come to Bedford, and north we cover all of Amherst County, going up north. So
Okay.
Big
Yeah.
Island, all of
Awesome. And you guys provide transportation as well. How
Absolutely.
close to a center would you need to be in order to be able to?
it. Doesn't matter as long as you're in our service area. So
Perfect.
we pick people up, and if they're willing to take the ride, hey, we'll pick you up and bring you in.
Heather was saying that she sees one of your PACE
I do.
buses like once a week.
No, every morning.
every morning.
Literally almost every morning.
Well, you said when you're on time, you run into.
Oh,
it.
I knew it. I
So-
knew it.
Hey,
No.
our guys are on time. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So
yeah.
PACE is on time, but Heather isn't. So
Yeah, no. So every morning I put my daughter on the school bus.
Yeah.
7:30. Her bus driver is like clockwork, so I can't be late or she will miss the bus.
right.
So yeah, I put her on the bus, and normally then I'll just head on into the office because what else am I gonna do? So yeah, I'll be heading down the road, and it's within 5 to 10 minutes. I always pass the PACE driver, and I'm always just like, "Hey, PACE driver." It's like an everyday thing. It's like you just kind of you don't know who they are, but you just stick your hand up and wave because you see them every day, and like if I don't see him, I'm gonna have to call you and be like, "Hey, where's the
Hey,
PACE
where's the
driver? Is
PACE
he all right?
driver?
What's going on?
today?
Yeah.
How's he doing?"
And you,
But-
and you said you have 12 buses.
I believe so. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of buses and drivers because we have so many people that we're picking up to bring to the center or taking them to doctor's appointments. And that's one thing that I hear from people quite a bit that are looking into our services. They say, well, I have Medicaid and I try to use Medicaid transport, but they're unreliable. And I've heard horror stories of people getting left at doctor's offices
Mhm.
and nobody was there to pick them back up and
Yeah.
bring them home and things like that. So I always let people know, hey, there are staff, there are employees, there are buses. We're not third partying any of this out.
Right.
We're taking care of our people.
And so the doctors that are on I can't think of another on site.
Yeah.
For PACE does that then become their primary doctor? Or do they still have their primary doctor? And
So yes and
works
no.
alongside?
The doctor that we have on site is expected to act as the PCP for people who join our program. With
Okay.
that being said, we know a lot of people have a primary care doctor that's out in the community somewhere that they love and they've been seeing for a million years.
Right.
Well, we don't think it makes sense to cut them off because they have this nice long patient history with them.
Right.
It makes sense to keep that going.
and they're comfortable with that doctor. Not that
Exactly.
they wouldn't be comfortable with the one on site, but it's always hard to start that. I'll call it a new relationship, like with your
Yeah,
doctor. Like,
exactly. So we tell people, hey, technically on the books, our doctor is going to become your PCP and act for those routine checkups and that sort of thing. You can still go see your outside provider a couple times a year, and we'll cover the bill for that. That's not a concern or anything. So we want to, if you want to keep that relationship going, we say, hey, absolutely, still go see them a couple times a year. We'll take care of that. But for regular routine things, it is expected to see our doctor and center.
Great.
So you talked a little bit about eligibility requirements,
Yes.
but how does someone go about getting themselves set up with PACE?
Yeah, so you can actually just let me know. That's one thing that's kind of unique is that a formal doctor's referral is not required.
Oh, that's great.
So if you just know somebody and you're like, what, my neighbor down the street maybe could utilize this, you could give us a call at PACE and, or you could give me a call. And because if you call PACE Center, they're going to send you over to me and I'm going to go, talk to whoever's interested in the program. And, we can get this process started from there.
Is there a set number of days or hours someone has to use to be able to, have the services?
No,
Okay.
we're here to provide what you need. So
Okay.
some people, they need some kind of medical check-in every day, 5 days a week or whatnot. And other people, that are maybe, depending on their situation, they might not need as much. So it really is just kind of catered to each individual as to what they need.
Now, do y'all offer any sort of respite? Like if let's say and for example, my daughter takes care of her, but let's say my daughter's going to be out of town for a week.
Yeah.
Do y'all offer the opportunity for someone to say, hey, we may just need a week of help here and there?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have some
Okay.
partnerships with some assisted livings here in town. We have one in Bedford, one in Lynchburg, and then actually one recently in Danville that we set up with. And we can set up respite stays with them like for exactly what you're saying. If a caregiver needs to take like a week off or something, we can let them stay there until they return and they can come back home.
Okay. Very cool.
That is cool.
It's a lot of good information.
It is. It is. So I thought I knew a lot about PACE. I've known Ben for quite a while and been familiar with PACE for quite a while, but I learned some new things.
I hear that all the time. It's one of those things. The biggest thing I hear is people go, "Oh, PACE! I see your buses.
Yeah.
What do you guys do again?" So that's why I'm real excited about being on this and trying to get the word out in the community about PACE, because so many people know pieces of PACE, but they don't know the all-inclusive nature of PACE. And PACE is actually an acronym. It stands for Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly.
I was just going to ask that. I'm like, I normally don't put people on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. What's
Okay,
it stand for?
I got
So,
that
yeah.
acronym down.
Yeah, you got it.
So that all-inclusive nature we take very seriously.
Yeah.
Like anything medical you need, we can take care of for you.
Mhm.
It's so convenient for people to say, "Hey, I've got one phone number I need to call for anything medical related."
And I think it's important for people to know that even though, like you just said, anything medically you've got covered, but there's also so much more than that, because I know we've had clients that have gone to PACE for a while and things like that, and different adult day centers and things like that, but they also build a relationship with the staff and things like that. So it's much more than just socialization of like, here, I'm going to put you next to somebody and you can talk to them. They build friendships and little groups and things like that. And it's nice to have the activities and things as well, because the I'll call it enrichment is so important. I went a couple weeks ago, client needed some help getting to a doctor's appointment, and I ended up going with him. They were like, "Can you come back with me and write things down because I won't remember?" And they were so worried about talking about everything that was going on in their life that they weren't really addressing the medical issues that were kind of forward facing and important. And it was like, okay, yeah, that's great that we talked about Gertrude, but let's talk about, how you're having trouble getting up in the morning and things like that. So, that social enrichment is important. So when they do go to the doctor, they can focus on their health needs and things like that.
Well, and like you were saying, sometimes you get caught up in between, like, okay, I'm my parents' daughter, but I'm also their caregiver. Having those split roles can be difficult
Right.
for people, but you can kind of separate those roles a little bit when you
Yeah.
join PACE. Another cool thing I was going to mention is we have a 24/7 on-call service. So even if it's on a weekend or in the middle of the night and you're having this some kind of medical struggle with your loved one, you can always give us a call and say, "All right, Mom, talk to the nurse," and
Right.
see what they say. That's very convenient for people as well.
That's great.
Awesome.
That's great.
Well, thank you for coming on and explaining more about what PACE is all about.
Absolutely.
I think it's important for people to know what's out there in their community for them to use, so that they're not having to become burnout or stressed, or that your loved ones are getting the best care you can possibly give them, before they are no longer here.
Yeah, that's great. So I ask every podcast guest 2 questions.
Yeah.
First, how long has Centra been part of the CVABC?
I've been working for Centra for about 5 years total.
Okay.
So I've been, that's my longevity of the CVABC.
Yeah, and I think that's about how long
That
Centra's been a
is.
member. So
Ding, ding, ding.
judging by the question,
They probably
that was
joined
answered
because they
last
knew
week,
I was coming on.
That's they actually put that in their application when they filled it out. They were like,
We're hiring this guy.
"Ben's coming. We need to get in touch with him and get
I
him
feel like
hooked
you're
up with
probably
the
lying to
CVABC."
me, Mike.
I probably am. And the other question is, what do you think is the greatest benefit of being part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
Helping get the word out about our services. Like I was saying, a lot of people don't have a great or full understanding of PACE, and working with the CVABC, we're able to get the word out to people who maybe we wouldn't normally see. We're pretty active at local health fairs and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people who don't attend those, and people that are just busy with their normal lives, and they're taking care of mom or whatnot, and they don't have time to go to some health fair or whatever in the middle of the workday. So it's great.
Yeah, if it wasn't part of my job, I probably wouldn't go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of people out there that could use the services that the CVABC has contact with, and
Yeah.
we're able to utilize those contacts and whatnot to help grow what we do, and in turn enhance the CVABC.
Yeah. That's
Well, it's been great because PACE has been part of like Centerfest. They've been able to come out and have a booth there. So, I think that's a lot of things we do with like our community to business focus, because a lot of our members, while business to business is great, the community is what kind of fuels and does a lot with a good majority of the businesses we work with. So, being able to have them at Centerfest, they've been in the Christmas parades, like things like that, just getting their name out there and having their participation has been great.
been great.
So thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys
Yeah,
for having me.
and
I appreciate it.
So you said that if somebody was interested in learning more about PACE or thought that they had someone in their life that would be a good fit for that, you said for them to contact you. What's the best way to contact you?
Yeah, so you can call our office directly. The phone number is 434-200-6516. You can also Google Centra Pace, and it'll come up, and you can get some additional information and our phone numbers and contact information there.
Excellent.
So we have a few minutes left, just a few. And why are you looking at me like I'm
No, I
going
was
to
looking
say
at
something
I
scary?
was looking at the clock.
Oh, you're looking at me like you're
No.
going to say something I don't want
I
to.
got bifocals. I'm old, so I'm trying to read.
Yeah. So we have a few minutes, and we didn't really talk about it at the break, like when we came back from the break. So I'm going to mention a few things. For one, I do want to make sure our listeners know that they need to make sure they have downloaded, subscribed, hit their notification buttons for grovestreet.fm and Talk Local to Me on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, wherever your platform is that you're listening in at. Make sure that you're doing all those things. Encourage your friends, your family to listen in. Woody, you put in a lot of work, Media Squatch is
Tons of work.
the new name.
Loads of work.
Yep. And make sure you
Said
leave the
loads of
podcast a
work.
rating as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please. That helps.
But also, if you're listening in, we are still looking for sponsors of the podcast that can help us continue to bring, just so our listeners know, like our businesses that come on here, we don't charge them. This is a completely free opportunity to get out the information that we do. And so we're looking for sponsors that want to, participate and get their name out and do the commercials. Like, we had the Visiting Angels commercial. We've had a few others in the past, but, it's $100 a month for your host read commercial that we can do right here for you. Or you can pay just a little bit more and come in and have a professionally made commercial done by the fabulous Woody Watts over here in the corner.
Woodrow T. Watts.
We'll do it up.
And, or if you're feeling really frisky and you want us to name the entire studio after you.
Okay.
So we're coming, to you live from the, Centra Pace studio. We can do that. We
That's a
can
good ring to it. I like it.
we can make it really cool. So good opportunities for people to check it out. You can contact myself, Heather, at cvabc.org and get some information sent to you about how you can kind of keep promoting your business through Talk Local to Me each week.
Yeah.
And we've got pretty good numbers. I mean, I'm not in Dubai or anything, but
Well,
we got some
We're
good
hot in
average.
Bedford County, let me
Hot
tell
in
you.
Bedford County, though. That's
Yep.
that's all accounts.
So, you're getting a good reach out to.
Yes.
I think the thing that I love the most about our podcast and here being at Media Squatch is there is a lot of local content. So you're really hitting on everything locally that's really important. We get a lot of reach from like Bedford County, Campbell County, Lynchburg, basically your region 2000, going into Southwest Virginia, Roanoke area, things like that. So, I love, being able to promote our local businesses.
And it's always great having guests come on too, because we were talking yesterday because I was like, who's on the podcast this week? I want to make sure I knew for the next couple of weeks. We were kind of lining our schedule up. And we've got we always have really great guests almost every week. There's I learned something new, and we really get to kind of deep dive into what that business does. And we're able to kind of not just promote them, but also get information about them and learn more about them so that we can learn how to work together better. So.
Yeah. And I just
really
recently
excited.
had to open up. So originally we had it where people could schedule their podcast only 60 days out so that we weren't, but I originally just now have kind of opened it up to the calendars open
Because
for
it's
the
been
year
booking up?
because we are completely booked through mid-June right now.
Okay.
So, I think that's pretty cool. And that's only because I just opened it up.
Right.
I feel like we'd be even further out if it weren't the case. But I had some people that are like, oh, I want to go ahead and book for November because that's when I have something coming up. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I probably should go ahead and let them do that because if I don't, and then I forget to tell them when the window opens and somebody else grabs their time slot, it's easier for them to plan it and get it on their calendar now versus waiting. So, you can contact me as well if you're interested in being on the show. I can send you that link. You can get yourself scheduled. It's pretty simple. You just click on, we have a little Calendly and you pick your own date.
Do I have to fill that out every week or?
No, you just have to be here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly.
So anyway, just wanted to throw those few things out to you. If you're listening and any of that interests you being on the show, sponsoring the show, or making sure that you're getting those notifications every week so
That's
you can listen to myself and Mike.
That's right.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening in today to Talk Local to Me. Make sure that you are following our website. We have all of our events listed on there where you can actually buy tickets or get your vendor booths or any of the things that you have heard us talk about online. You can go to
cvabc.org. Have a great week.
Much.